Hello, my name is Matt. I always thought that my father was a real man. He was an idol for me. But when I went to high school, I started noticing strange things. For example, my father would close himself off in the garage for long periods of time, despite the fact that the car was not broken. I asked, "Hey, what are you doing there?" But he stayed silent. But after, I started noticing the scent of a woman's perfume on him, and it was not Mom's perfume. Later, I noticed remnants of lipstick on his lips. Father often left during the evening, thinking of the most absurd excuses. It seemed like he was hiding something. I thought that he was cheating on my mom. During one of these nights, I decided to follow him. During the night, when Mom already fell asleep, Father drove into the city. He didn't notice how I drove after him with turned-off headlights. He stopped near a building with a bright signboard. It looked like there was some kind of club in the basement. Father exited the car, took a small suitcase out of the trunk, and went down the stairs. It is possible at that moment, behind that door, he was hugging and kissing another woman. I didn't want to believe it. After 30 minutes, I decided to go down. The music in the club played so loudly that my ears hurt. But I was unable to go even a few steps before a security guard, a bald big man in a black suit, blocked my path. He put his palm on my shoulder and tried to get me out. I resisted, though I was doing it quite pathetically. Suddenly, a tall red-haired woman ran up. In the darkness, I was barely able to make out the details of her face, but she seemed massive. She took me by the hand and dragged me outside. When we went out, I finally saw the face of the unknown woman. It was my father, in a dress, in heels, and with makeup. I think from astonishment, my eyes became as big as 2 bowling balls. "Dad, is it you?" He said, "I'll explain everything to you." He took me around the corner. He said that since childhood he would dress up in women's clothes and put on his mother's makeup, that he regretted not having been born a girl. But understand that it is not normal. His classmates would not accept him. Afterwards, he met my mom and they married. I didn't know what to say. I just got into the car and drove home. That morning, Father was in the kitchen with my mom. I understood that he decided to tell her the truth. I heard her cry. From that day, my father John disappeared, while in his place came Christina. He wanted to be called that. After this confession, my parents often started arguing. I could no longer stand there yelling. He pleaded her to accept his decision, but Mom cried almost every day and could not accept it. It also wasn't great for me. For me, a 17-year-old teenager, it was a disgrace. Father started openly walking in dresses and wearing makeup, in addition to also planning to transition. Soon the whole school knew that my father wanted to become a woman. People pointed at me, laughed. They joked that Matt has 2 moms and not a single dad. One day, Randy, a classmate who I couldn't stand, stood among his friends and yelled to me, "Hey, Matt, which of your moms has a shorter skirt?" Couldn't stop myself and with all my strength punched him in the jaw. Then Randy's friends threw me onto the ground and punished me for doing what I did. At home, my father, that is, Christina, saw my bruises. He decided to teach me to fight. We started training outside. Behind the dress, makeup, and wig, I saw a manly father. Those days I was happy as it seemed like he came back to me. When Mom watched our training sessions, her anger with Dad, Christina, lessened. It's possible that she hoped everything would settle down and that Father would become himself once again. The training sessions didn't go to waste. Once, after school, Randy started laughing at me. And you know what? I applied a move showed to me by Christina, a painful grapple. I twisted Randy in such a way that the rest of them were scared to move, while I made him ask for forgiveness in front of everyone. I rushed home to share my happy story with my father. But I never actually got into the house. I heard my parents arguing. Dad yelled that he would not change his decision, that he must have an operation. Mom cried and pleaded with him not to do so, for the family and for his son. That was the first time I heard my father in total despair. He ran out of the house. I felt that I must help him, but I didn't know how. And then I just went up to him and hugged him. "Dad, do what you must." That evening, he left us. Now he's preparing for his operation. But you know, I'm proud of my dad regardless. It doesn't matter if he's a man or woman. He remains my father either way. I love and respect him despite anything. We often see one another and chat. I see that my father is happy, and that is enough for me. Thanks for being with me for these couple minutes. What do you think? Did my father act correctly, leaving the family in order to finally become himself? Share your opinion. It's very important to me.